Hey guys, I'm here today with Dallas Alexander. Dallas is a lifelong athlete, mountain climber, and all around adventurer. He's constantly looking for new ways to push his limits and his comfort zone. He spends a lot of time trying to learn the best ways to optimize his routines and habits, and has been putting a lot of time into his music lately, where he loves the endless amounts of things there are to learn as well. I've been following Dallas for quite a while on social media and have loved the way that he explores and shares his daily routines and habits and how he tries to optimize himself. And I thought it'd be really great to bring Dallas on today because Dallas has returned at the point that we're recording this from Mexico 13 days ago and has been self quarantining during that time. And Dallas settled into that really, really well and actually told me he has loved it and would like to do this somewhat consistently, although hopefully not for months at a time, depending how long this goes on. So Dallas, if you don't mind, I'm going to get you, welcome, by the way, to talk a little bit about how you've been spending your time in self quarantine and how it's helped you as much as it has.
Yeah, for sure. So right now, like you mentioned, we've been, and when I say we, it's myself and my fiance. We've been back from Mexico for 13 days. I think the 14-day quarantine is up tomorrow. um, and what we've been doing is just trying to kind of build routines that bring us through the day and also make our time used wisely. Um, so for myself, it looks like waking up in the morning, and I have a particular morning routine. And then throughout the afternoon and the day, I kind of plan what I'm going to prioritize in terms of kind of general categories and fit time and spaces into each of those. And then I have an evening routine. So my day is still pretty structured right now, even though I'm not out and doing work and all that stuff. But I'm finding that like they're flying by, but I'm getting a ton of stuff done in all the different categories that I prioritize.
And I think that's really important and something that I think the people who are going to be the most successful at surviving this mentally, at least, have been doing is really trying to make a schedule where you've got a work day even if you're not at work.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is it's all stuff that I enjoy because I'm the one setting the priorities, so I'm the one doing.
And this is sort of your ideal situation in a way where, having followed you for a while now, you've had these, like the morning routine you talked about, you've had that set for, I mean, as far back as I can remember following you,
Yeah,
where I remember there being some archery involved. And is the ice bath part of the morning routine?
yeah. That's oh, the ice bath. Sorry, no. Normally my ice bath is evening. I like to
Oh, okay.
get as quick as I can prior to bed, and then I found that it kind of bumps my deep sleep up a lot.
So I'd love to talk about some of the specific pieces, and for almost to quell my personal curiosity, the
Okay.
archery and how that sort of came about and how you find it fits in with everything.
Yeah. Okay. So it's sort of like the fourth or fifth thing in my morning routine. I get out of bed, do my wash up and bathroom routine, come downstairs, and it's basically the same no matter where I go. It's something I can keep consistent when I'm traveling. Also, is the first three things is I wake up and I hydrate, then I meditate, and then I journal. That's easy to do anywhere, so that's it's always like the kind of foundation of my morning routine. And from there, then yeah, I go down. When I'm at home, I go to the basement and then I shoot a few arrows inside of the house. Now it's not very far; it's one side to the other, maybe 10 or 12 meters. Um, but I like the kind of focus that it takes throughout the entire process to do that, and it kind of dials in focus for the day. Uh, Initially, I started doing it. I read about it in like a book on samurai training and how they dialed in focus. And archery was one of the big things, that and other types of art. Yeah, so I started doing it and I liked it. I liked when I leave kind of just the basement after doing that particular activity, I feel good and I feel focused for the remainder of my day.
Oh, that's really interesting. I have been wondering about that for a while in terms of like where it came from. So might have to see if I
Yeah.
can dig up a bow sometime coming up
Hmm.
and learn to shoot while I'm here.
Yeah, it's great. Every part of it, you have to, it is repetition, but it's also focus. Make sure you place it the right way and you're pulling back the right way, and there's sights and levels and all that stuff. And if you do it all right, then should hit the target where you want to.
Fair. I remember trying to shoot a bow years ago and it didn't go quite that well, but I also had no idea what I was doing. So
Yeah, you want to practice it outside before you bring it into your house.
I grew up out in the country, so it was shooting at hay bales from quite a while back. But again, it just friend's house picked up the bow and it never picked one up since. And that was that.
There's another guy called Cameron Haynes on social media, and he's a big bow hunter. He runs marathons. He does all kinds of cool stuff, and he has one set up in his gym. And so I watch him. He does the same. He'll do a workout, and then he'll just shoot a few arrows. Mind you, he's a professional bow hunter, but I thought it was a cool addition to kind of.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Did it add that almost like a biathlon type aspect where you coming out of the workout have to really, really focus on trying to calm the heart rate and everything like that?
Yeah. Yeah, and he does that because he does these crazy long adventures where, he's been backpacking for days and days, and when it comes time to take that bow shot at whatever he's hunting, like even if you're fatigued, even if you're breathing heavy, you still have to be able to do it. So I think it's a cool way to train.
Absolutely. Now, actually, on the topic of training, being somebody who, usually is adventuring and climbing and does a lot of sort of real world outdoor activities, how have you been holding up physically and keeping up training physically during this?
So physically, I'm still going outside kind of all by myself and stay away from the busy areas, but I've been able to do daily runs. But normally I'll start, so I move a little bit in the morning just to kind of get my body moving. But my real workout is generally midday, or it has been during this stuff. And it'll just be a quick run that's like a mile and try and beat my time from the day before. And then I come inside and we have have some home gym equipment here, so I can do a full CrossFit workout after I'm done my run.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that one might not be completely applicable to everybody, but
feel good about my day. But we also started now doing a lot of body weight stuff, Tabata style, and things you can do without any home equipment at all. Because I just started a Patreon page, and I was getting a lot of questions on social media about like that exact same thing. How are you staying fit? How can you do this if my gym is closed, my yoga studio is closed, the club I normally go to is closed? So there are a lot of things, and because like sometimes you take for granted having done physical activity so much that not everybody knows that you can get a fantastic workout without any gym equipment at all. So I posted one workout, the first one actually, out to Patreon today that we filmed and did right here in this living room. And then I did the workout today, and it was a gasser.
There we go. I'll have to check it out later.
Yeah.
So, and actually, I did want to touch on the Patreon page because I saw you launched that, and so just to give you a stage for a second, what is the Patreon page all about?
So I used to be in kind of the health coaching realm with the Live Elevated stuff that you mentioned prior. And then I started focusing a lot on music, and that sort of took a back seat. But then I started getting messages a lot on social media about this type of time in particular. And I think it was to do with, I've always posted about my morning routine and how these habits and stuff are super important. And now that everyone's kind of locked in their houses, I feel like it's even more important. So people were reaching out about different workouts they could do and what kind of things they could do to stay sane. And not even just stay sane, but to like optimize this time, come out the end of however long this social distancing is going to last, and have used that time productively, maybe even be more fit than when it started and smarter and all of these different things that you can do if you're using your time kind of wisely at home. So with all those questions and stuff, I got to thinking, and I was like, okay, well, let's start building a small community and invite the people that are interested in learning this stuff and having the topics covered, from morning routine to evening routine, other ways to prioritize, and again, the home workouts, and let's make a little group. So I started a Patreon kind of page for it, and it's starting to grow, and it's kind of cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll be sure to link that in the show notes too, so anybody listening can find it and join in on the community.
That's right.
And then, so continuing with that, part of it, and you touched on the music as well. How has, you're not learning necessarily at this point, at least from what I can see, because you seem like you're quite good. But um, how has being able to practice music at this point helped you make it through the past 13 days?
Oh, a ton. So it's always one of the kind of top priorities of my day is that, and I'm very much still learning. And that's the thing I love about music is that there is no end to what you can learn essentially. So yeah, I'm doing online guitar lessons and then vocal lessons as well. And I make sure that throughout my day, there's chunks of time where I can just focus on guitar playing, songwriting, and practicing songs I know or learning songs I don't know. Um, and again, when I plan the day out, it fits into one of the categories of priorities. And then throughout the day, I get to do it a few times, and it makes the day that much greater.
Now, in terms of categorizing your priorities, how do you end up organizing your day like that?
So for me, like I said, my day is framed with a morning routine and an evening routine. Um, and in the evening routine, just like in the morning, I do some journaling. And at night, I'll think about the things I want to kind of get done the next day. And then again, in that morning journaling session, I'll pick kind of the top three to dos, if you will, and put those on there. And throughout my day, I want to make sure that I'm at least getting those done. And if we do, I'm happy. Outside of that, blocks of time are spent. Like for me, I have a list of kind of priorities that are like my family, relationships, making sure that I'm trying to call and FaceTime more because historically I've not been fantastic at that. um, Music, reading is there. I have a bunch of books queued up, and I enjoy just sitting down, having a coffee or tea, and gaining the knowledge that other people have kind of put out into the world. And then health and fitness, obviously, and then other types of growth. So those categories, I look at my day again, my journal in the evening. I go through and say, okay, did I kind of at least hit something on each of those? How can I be better tomorrow? And then it's just a cycle.
Oh, I love that. I don't know if I've heard anybody quite do it like that before, but it makes a lot of sense, and might end up adopting that myself pretty quickly.
There you go.
Well, that's awesome. So great way to sort of walk us through your day and put together how you've been really flourishing in a time where otherwise I think people are almost bound to struggle without the the structure that you've created for yourself. And
Yeah.
I think it's a great way and some great habits that people can pick up on and use for themselves. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'll be sure to link the Patreon page, like I said, in through the show notes. And otherwise, I'll also make sure that your Instagram is on there. Do you do YouTube at all?
I do. Yeah. Most of the YouTube stuff is music, um, but still do YouTube. Yeah. I can send you the link for that as well.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dallas. Appreciate you taking the time.
I just took a selfie of you for Instagram as well. All right.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot. That was awesome.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.